Hello and welcome to this week's edition of ProSwing's Tip of the Week. Today we have a fantastic drill for you. It is the Top Gun Throwing Series. This was developed by the Los Angeles Dodgers. Dan Gray, our founder and owner of ProSwing, played for the Dodgers, and he disseminated all the information about the Top Gun Throwing Series to me, and I'm going to give it to you today. Now, the Top Gun Throwing Series is a progression. It's a 5-step progression. It isn't for velocity. It isn't long tossing. This should be done before games, before practice, before drills. I have used the Top Gun Throwing Series throughout my entire career, and it is a great drill that doesn't take a long time, that gets your arm ready to go. So let's break it down into these 5 steps. Okay, a quick drill before we get into it. This is something for throwers and receivers. That's what the Top Gun Throwing Series is. Now, as a thrower, it's going to change. You're going to be squared up. You're going to be in power position. We'll go through that. But as a receiver, you're always going to be in the same athletic position. I'll back up so you can see it. You're going to have your knees slightly bent. You're going to have both hands out ready to receive. We don't want to be stuck like this. We don't want our hands on our knees. When our thrower is getting ready to throw, we're in an athletic position, no matter what stage of the progression you're in. Okay, so we're ready for the first part of our Top Gun Throwing Series. Now, the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to make you, the viewer, and the camera my throwing partner, so you can see my body and how you should be. So step 1 is going to be your first progression. I'm going to be about 10 to 12, maybe 10 to 15 feet away, okay? Now, my feet are going to be planted. They are not going to be moving. I'm going to take my glove side hand. I'm going to make it perpendicular, okay? Now I'm going to put my throwing elbow on top of the glove, making a right angle, as you can see. Now, the elbow is always going to be above the shoulder, okay? And what we're doing right here is we're flicking the wrist. We just flick the wrist and get that rotation and pull down on that ball. Okay, so we finished with the first. We're going to back up about 5 or 7 feet, and this is important. This is going to be the power position. Now, in the first progression, I was facing you. I was squared to you. Now, in the power position, I'm going to be this way, okay? And here's what we're doing. We're having our glove side elbow up, pointed at our target, okay? Our throwing hand is right here, as you can see my hand up here. And what we're going to do is our feet are still going to be planted, and we're just going to come through and throw. And if you can see my feet down here, my front foot's locked down, my back foot rotates. I'm not lifting up, but I am starting to generate hip power. As I turn my hips and throw, I'm generating my hip power, releasing the ball, and getting that backspin. So once again, we're here, and we throw. So we just finished our second progression, the power position. We're ready to move on to the third. Now you're going to back up about 5 or 7 more feet, and what we're going to do is we're still going to be in our power position. But now we're going to focus more on generating power from our hips, which will generate more arm speed, which will create more of a wrist action to make us throw harder, okay? Now here's the difference in this one. We're in our power position, same thing, elbow pointed up, hands up here. We got C to power L right here. We're going to throw, and after we release the ball, we follow through and end up being square. So now in the fourth one, we're going to start with our footwork, okay? Your throwing hand side, whatever it may be, you're going to step with that foot first. You step with that foot because you now want to clear your throwing side foot, and look where we are. We're back in our power position. Now, why are we doing that for step 4? We are creating momentum, because now as we get our footwork, you have to let your footwork get you into your power position, which will generate a faster hip turn, generate more arm speed, a better wrist action, and let that ball carry and come out of your hand faster. So right here, I am square to my partner, and you're my partner right now. So I'm here, I'm a righty, so it's going to be right foot, left foot, power position, throw, and follow through. Okay guys, so we just did our 4th progression. Now we're ready for our 5th. Take about 5 or 7 feet back. And what we're going to do now is the same thing we did in the 4th one, but more fluid. It's a more fluid movement. And remember guys, when we're doing these steps, depending on what position you are, I'm an outfielder. So as an outfielder, when I step, I'm bringing my arm down low here. We know our infielders don't bring it that low. They could be right here. We know our catchers, they have the quickest. They're right here. So focus on your arm angle for your position. Every throw has a purpose. So in this 5th one, we're doing the same thing, but we're doing it fluid. I'm squared with my partner, I'm looking at him, but now it's going to be fluid. It's going to be right, left, power position, throw. Receive back, same thing. Now we're fluid. Right, left, power position, throw. Okay guys, just to recap, today we talked about the Top Gun Throwing Series. Now, after that 5th progression, don't just go in and sit down. You have to have your cool down. And what that is bringing it in to about 20 or 30 feet away and making 5 or 10 more throws, cooling that arm down. We don't want to stretch it out and then just have nothing and then just run to the dugout and you're ready to go. No, have your cool down come in. Remember, I cannot say this enough, the Top Gun throwing series is not meant for velocity and it's not for long tossing and just airing your arm out and seeing how hard can I throw this ball. No, it is a form throwing series. It is great to do before games, before practices, before drills. It will get your arm ready to go. It will warm you up and you'll be able to throw hard. But within the progression, we're not throwing as hard as we can. We are working on our form. Thanks for watching this week's edition of ProSwing's Tip of the Week. Tune in next week for another tip that's going to make you a better baseball player.